Hello everyone, this is Sweta here and this is my another video for the topic comparing quantities. So let's begin today's class with a small story. So this is a story about a boy named Rohan and his piggy bank. Rohan was a bright 12-year-old child who loved saving money in his piggy bank. So one day his elder sister Supriya needed some money to buy some special gift for their mother. So Supriya asked, Rohan, can I borrow 100 rupees from your piggy bank? I will pay you back in 2 years with extra money to thank you. Then Rohan said, sure, Didi, but how much extra money will you pay me? Then Supriya thought for a moment and said, I will pay you 5 rupees extra for every 100 rupees you lend me for each year. So Rohan was curious. He pulled out his notebook and started calculating. So the amount which he has given to Supriya, that was 100 rupees. So the principal amount was 100 rupees. And Supriya said she will give 5 rupees for every 100 rupees each year. It means rate is 5% and she is going to pay back the whole amount after 2 years. So time is 2 years. So now I'm going to calculate the interest which Rohan will get on 100 rupees. So the in your grade 7 class, you have already studied how to calculate simple interest, right? So the formula to find the simple interest is P into R into T by 100, where your principal amount is 100 rupees, rate is 5%, time is 2 years. So let's calculate the simple interest. So if you calculate it, principal is 100 rupees, rate is 5%, time is 2 years, that divided by 100, and if you reduce, cancel 100 and 100, you are going to get 10 rupees as interest, right? So on 100 rupees, Rohan is going to get 10 rupees as interest in 2 years. So the amount will be principal plus interest. How to calculate the final amount which he will get after 2 years? So the formula is principal plus interest. Now your principal amount is 100 rupees, interest is 10 rupees. So total is 110 rupees. So from here I can say Supriya is going to pay 110 rupees after 2 years. Okay. So what is principal? Principal is the original amount of money that is borrowed or invested. Rate is the percentage of the principal charged or earned as interest per year. Now, for example, if rate is 15% means if principal is 100 rupees, the interest charged for a year is 15 rupees. This is the meaning of rate 15%. And time is the duration for which the money is borrowed or invested and it is measured in years. Now let's do one try these question from the NCERT textbook. The question is find interest and amount to be paid on 15,000 rupees at 5% per annum for after 2 years. So the information given is principal is 15,000, rate is 5% and time is 2 years. So how to find simple interest? We have already seen the formula is P into R into T by 100 and here your principal is 15,000 rupees, rate is 5%, time is 2 years divided by 100. Now if you cancel these two zeros, you are going to get 150 multiplied by 5 into 2 will give you 10. So the interest is 1500 rupees. Okay. Now let's find the amount also. So the amount is principal plus interest. So your principal amount is 15,000 rupees and interest we have just now we have calculated it is 1500 rupees and if you are going to add it, you are going to get 16,500 rupees. Okay. Now next question. So now we will study about compound interest. Okay. So in compound interest, the interest is calculated on the amount of the previous year. Now, what is the meaning of this? We will understand this by taking one example. So, for example, you have deposited 1000 rupees in the bank and the interest rate is 10% per year. So, first year, what money you will get? So, interest will be 1000 into 10 into 1 by 100 because here your principal is 1000 rupees, rate is 10% and I am calculating for the first year. So, time will become 1. So your interest is 100 rupees. So amount will become 1000 plus 100 rupees which will give you 1100 rupees. So at the end of a year, now you have 1100 rupees. So now in compound interest, what will happen? This amount will become the principal for the second year. So if I have to calculate how much amount it will be at the end of second year. So for that, this 1100 will become the principal amount here. So again, now interest will be 1100 into 10 into 1 by 100, because the rate is same 10%, time is again 1 year. So if I am calculating, I am getting interest as 110 rupees. So now my amount will become 1100 plus 110 rupees, which will give me 1210 rupees. So at the end of 2 years, now 1000 rupees became 1210 rupees. Now if we continue like this, now for the third year, this 1210 will become the principal amount. Okay, rate will remain 10% and time will be 1 year. So if I calculate for the third year, I will get my interest as 121 rupees and amount will become 1331 rupees. So when I calculated uh, principal as 1000 and interest rate as 10%, so at the end of 3 years, my amount became 1331 when I use compound interest method. Now, if the same amount, if I'll calculate using simple interest, then what will happen? Simple interest principal will be 1000 rupees, rate is 10%, time is 3 years, divided by 100, and I am getting my interest as 300 rupees. So the amount will become 1000 plus 300, which is 1300. Now the difference between compound interest and simple interest is here only. See, in simple interest, for each year your principal is fixed, which is 1000 rupees. Whereas in compound interest, your principal keep on changing. Okay, the amount which is for the first year, that will become the principal amount for the second year. Again, the amount which is there for the second year, that will become the principal amount for the third year, isn't it? And if you see at the end, the actual amount when you deposited 1000 rupees, after 3 years the amount became 1331 rupees. But if you have calculated using simple interest, it is 1300 rupees. So you can clearly see that the interest which you are getting more when you have calculated using compound interest. Now currently all the banks, okay, follows this compound interest method only. Okay, so in a bank, when you go there to do some fixed deposit or when you are going to take a loan, they follow compound interest method only. Okay, now we will see some more applications of compound interest little later. Now I'm going to solve few questions based on compound interest, and we will see some how to derive one formula for the compound interest. So we'll see the formula of compound interest. So suppose P1 is the sum on which interest is compounded annually at a rate of R% per annum. So from here, simple interest for the first year will be P1 into R into 1 by 100. Here I have taken for first year, so time I have taken 1 year. Rate is R%, principal is P1. So my amount will become P1 plus simple interest for the first year. So it will be P1 plus, and if you calculate it, it will be P1 R by 100. And here you can see P1 is common because it is here also, it is here also. So when you take P1 common, it will become 1 plus R by 100. And what I said in compound interest, the amount will become the principal for the second year. So I have considered this as P2. Now for the second year, my principal amount is P2. So for the second year, P2 into R into 1 by 100. And what is the value of P2? P1 times 1 plus R by 100. So I'm going to substitute the value of P2 over here. And when I calculate it, I have got simple interest for the second year as P1 into R by 100 times 1 plus R by 100. Now what will be the amount for the second year? So it will be principal of the second year plus the interest of the second year. And if you calculate, you are going to get P1 times 1 plus R by 100 whole square. So from here, if you keep on calculating for further years, you are going to get a formula as amount will be principal times 1 plus R by 100 whole n. Here n is number of years. Okay. So now we will see and try to understand this by solving few questions. Now this is a try this question given in page 89 of the NCERT textbook. Question says that find compound interest on a sum of 8000 rupees for 2 years at 5% per annum compounded annually. So your principal amount is 8000 rupees, time is 2 years, rate is 5%, and you have to find the compound interest. So to find the compound interest, first you have to find the amount. So the formula for the amount is P multiplied by 1 plus R by 100 whole N. Now I am going to put all the values. So your principal amount here is 8,000 rupees and your rate is 5%. Time is 2 years. So your N means time, which is 2 years. Now reduce it. 5 times 1, 5 times 20. And if you are going to take LCM, it will become 20 plus 1 by 20 whole square. So it will be 8,000 multiplied by 21 by 20 into 21 by 20. So this 0 you have to cancel it out. 2 times 40 and then 2 times 20. So now it will be 20 into, and 21 into 21 is 441. So from here you are going to get your amount as 8,820 rupees. But in the question you have to find compound interest. So compound interest formula is amount minus principal. So your amount is 8,820 rupees. Principal is 8,000 rupees. And if you are going to subtract it, you will get 820 rupees as your compound interest. So now we will see some of the special cases of compound interest. So if let principal is P rupees, rate is R% per annum and time is N years, and you have to find the interest which is compounded half yearly or semi-annually, then in that case rate will be R by 2% per half year, time will be 2.5 years, amount will be P times 1 plus R by 2 into 100 whole 2N. So why rate will become R by 2? Because now you have to compound it half yearly. And time will become 2.5 years because in 1 year there are 2 half years. So here you have to multiply by 2. So time will become 2n. And compound interest formula will remain the same, which is amount minus principal. So now we will see few questions based on it. So if you have to find the amount and compound interest on 31,250 rupees for 1.5 year at 8% per annum compounded half yearly. So here principal is 31,250 rupees, rate is 8% per annum, time is 1.5 years, right? So here time I can write in terms of fraction. So 1.5 years means it is 3 by 2 years. Okay. And what you have to find? Amount. So now I'm going to put the values over here. So your principal is 31,250 rupees. Then 1 plus rate is 8 by 2 into 100 and hold 2 into n. N is 3 by 2. So this 2 and 2 cancel. 2 times 4. 4 times 25. Now if you are going to solve it further, it will be 31,250. And if you take LCM, it will become 25 plus 1 by 25 whole cube. Then it will become 31,250 into 26 by 25 whole cube. So it is whole cube. So I'm going to write it 3 times. 26 by 25 into 26 by 25. Now 5 table, 5 times 5 is 25 and here it will become 6,250. Again I can use 5 tables, it will become 1,250 and 25 times 50 is 1,250, 25 times 2 is 50. So now it will be 2 into 26 into 26 into 26. And if you are going to multiply it all, you are going to get it as 35,152. So this is your amount. Now you have to find compound interest also. So it is amount minus principal, which is 35,152 minus your principal is 31,250. So if you subtract it, you are going to get your compound interest as 3,902 rupees. Okay. Now next we will see the another case of compound interest. So if the interest is compounded quarterly, then in that case what will happen? Your rate will become R by 4% per quarter. Time will be 4 n quarters and amount formula will become P times 1 plus R by 4 into 100 whole 4n. Now why it became 4n? Time will become 4n because in 1 year there are 4 quarters. So you have to multiply here it by 4. and rate was given in per annum, but you have to find per quarter, right? So you have to divide it by 4. Now we will see one question based on this. And for this also the compound interest formula will remain the same, which is amount minus principal. So the question is, find the compound interest on 1,25,000 for 9 months at 8% per annum compounded quarterly. So here principal is 1,25,000 rupees, rate is 8% per annum, time is 9 months. So time here is given in months. So first you convert it into year. So to convert it into year, you have to divide it by 12, and further if you simplify it, you will get 3 by 4 years. Now it is given you have to find the interest compounded quarterly. So the formula will be P times 1 plus R by 4 into 100 whole 4n. Now I'm going to put the value over here. So it will be, now here if you see, the principal is 1,25,000. Okay, and your rate is 8. So 8 by 4 into 100 whole 4 times n. So n is your 3 by 4. So 4 and 4 cancel, 4 times 2 and 2 times 50. So it became 1,25,000, 1 plus 1 by 50 whole cube. Now you have to multiply it here. Take the LCM, it will become 51 by 50 whole cube, and I'm going to write it as 51 by 50 into 51 by 50 into 51 by 50. So all the 3 zeros you can cancel out from here, and 5 times 25, again 5 times 5, and again 5 times 1. So now it is 51 into 51 into 51. So if you multiply it, you are going to get amount as 1,32,651. And now you have to find the compound interest. So compound interest is amount minus principal, and your amount is 1,32,651 minus 1,25,000. And if you are going to subtract it, you will get 7,651 as compound interest. So now children, in compound interest questions, if you will see, there are so much calculation, but please try to simplify it. Okay, see the process how I am doing. I am first reducing it. If you reduce it, the number will become small and it will become very easy for you to simplify, and at the end you will get a very small number which you have to multiply, isn't it? So that's all for today's class, and please practice more and more questions on compound interest. Okay, that's all for today's class. Please like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you.